it was a big impact. And, to be honest, I didn't really have any desire to coach. I wanted to play. That was the top of my line. I wanted to be in there. I wanted to be playing. I wanted to be a part of it. But my first year, when you start coaching these kids and kind of basically giving them lessons here and there, just little things, nothing crazy. Our scouts did a great job of just identifying the players and signing them. And so as a coach, all you're trying to do is just help that player reach their ceiling, So you're trying to figure out, where do you guys see this guy if he's in the big leagues? Oh, we see him as an everyday center fielder. Oh, we see him as a DH. We see him, whatever it is. We're just trying to maximize, the skill set that player had that our scouts saw. But I loved it, man. The players would go out that you've worked with, and all of a sudden they have success in a game. And then I would get happy, man, that's awesome, So you're happy for him. So then I was like, man, I like having an impact on people. I like helping them out, And so kind of, roundabout way in insurance, you're doing the same thing. I mean, I'm not doing it because, hey, I sold you an auto policy. But, hey, we had a conversation and stuff comes up, man, that you never think about, things, goals and dreams about the future and worries, hey, what are you worried about, And, I'm really big on that, building something and having an impact and doing what you can do, to make a difference.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Key Seekers podcast. I'm your host Ramneek.
I'm your co-host Chad.
We want to welcome you to the podcast. We are really excited about this project.
Key Seekers International Group is a boutique real estate group brokered by Homesmart, tailored and dedicated to service.
And one thing we wanted to do is create a platform dedicated to highlighting and showcasing the integrity, inspiration, and potential of the people and businesses within our communities.
Not only that, we also wanted to curate personal conversations and establish meaningful relationships that could add value to anyone listening that's seeking growth in their own pursuits to help accomplish their own goals.
So welcome.
And thanks for listening.
So, Justin, we've been chatting a little just starting up. I can already feel the energy that you bring to just getting things done as well as just your profession in general. And that's kind of what Chad saw in you when he mentioned your name. He's like, hey, it would be cool to have Justin on here. He just stuck out to me in a networking event, and just the way he approaches people, he has the energy and stuff. So it was really cool to say let's get Justin in here and learn about what he's doing, about your State Farm office and everything else. Do you want to start talking about a little bit about when you started and everything?
Bring it on, Justin.
Yeah.
What you got?
So kind of a roundabout way, but starting a business, a small business with my own State Farm agency. We opened up June 1st out in North Peoria. It's been great. It wasn't necessarily a thing that I had, at the top of my list coming out of high school, coming out of college.
You didn't?
No, to be honest. It was all about sports for me. School was always a priority, so try to do well in that. And, but I was really focused on sports. I love being on teams. I've been on teams my entire life, ever since I was little, playing on Little League and basketball and football and all that kind of stuff. Just love the whole atmosphere, love the competition. Fortunate enough to be around some really good players, some really good coaches, some mentors. But my parents were also really, supportive and let me kind of do my own thing, and help me out through that kind of stuff. But so playing in college, playing pro ball, managing in pro ball, coaching in pro ball, getting into the insurance was kind of a thing that happened by a stance of, I hated being gone. I have 2 kids at home, 3 kids, but 2 of them are at home still. And I hated being gone on the other side of the country. So, hey, spring training's over. Okay, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to, Kentucky, or I'm going to Delaware. I'll be back in September.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we're good, like our team should be,
right,
it'll be more like October.
Right.
So that's a lot of stress, and I hated missing games and, school and all the stuff that you miss on a day-to-day basis. It kind of wore on me for a while. So it was one of those things that, kind of a couple years in the making. Was fortunate enough to be able to get my MBA degree through University of Phoenix online while I was coaching. So we hop on a bus after the game and we're driving 8 hours to the next city. I got my laptop and I'm, studying.
Doing classes and
doing
stuff.
papers.
Yeah, that's dedication for you right
that
there.
That kind of thing. So I had to get up the card games in the back of the bus and the movies, that you've seen 80 times.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of put headphones on and do that.
I would say that's got to be quite the heavy distraction on a team bus driving around trying to get your.
And so when it finally came down to it, kind of looking at some different opportunities, and to be honest, State Farm wasn't even really on my radar. Kind kind of looking some different financial, companies and stuff like that, and happened to get a phone call from a recruiter. Hey, this is, and her name was Sandra Gonzalez, and she is, top notch. She is awesome. She's honest. There was no strings attached, but hey, this is the opportunity we got. Why are you calling me? And she goes, well, I'm looking at your resume, and what stands out to us is the whole team thing. You've led teams, you've been on teams, you've been on big teams, you've helped build teams, you've helped do that kind of stuff. So just wondering if you're interested. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'm interested. So you're telling me now I still get a team. I get to hire my own team. Right. We get to run the stuff the way we want to run it, the day to day. And so I was fired up. I was like, hey, this sounds like a great opportunity. So I went down there, no insurance experience. I mean, I bought insurance myself, right? Yeah. But as far as like selling it, and as far as the whole industry and how things work, I no clue.
Right.
But the thing that stuck out, hands down, without a doubt, with State Farm was just the support network. I mean, you walk in there to the big buildings in Tempe, and everyone is nice, and they're all trying to help, and it's a massive company. I mean, Fortune 36. Yeah. I mean, they are big time. There's over 100 different products. It's not like a pushing thing. It's a great support network. Mm-hmm. And you think about the Patriots, right? The Patriots are a great football team. They've won whatever in the past 10 years. Yeah, right. 6 or 7 titles. Yeah. Now you look at, hey, this company's been number 1 in the entire United States since 1942.
Right.
Yeah, that says a lot.
So you're going, okay, they're doing something right. I mean, it's not it's not easy by any, but to get up there, to get to the top and stay at the top, it's just a credit to them and how they, how their business model set up. If I have any questions whatsoever, I've probably been wearing out the helpline, to be honest, in the last.
Hey, man, you got to learn. You got to learn.
We do the same thing.
We do the same thing.
We call our brokers whenever we have questions.
Yeah, and they're great. They'll help you out. They'll walk you through it. The other agents, they have been awesome as well. So I've used them as a sounding board. Like, hey, what did you do good in the beginning when you were starting off? What do you wish you would have done better? So I've been asking a lot of questions to some of these people, and I feel bad. So I'm like sending them little gift cards and stuff, and trying to thank them. But yeah, it's been great, man. It's a challenge, obviously, but I love that. I love the fact that it's not easy, because anything worth doing and worth doing right, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, a lot of like, oh man, I got to go on Saturday, stuff like that. But it's a good challenge. It's welcome, but I think it's going to pay off in the long run. But for me, it fits me because I love talking to people. Love building teams, like I said earlier, and the fact that, we can just sit down and have a conversation, and hey, maybe we don't have anything that can help you at this time, but chances are we got something somewhere that can help you. But I think people appreciate that.
Well, that's one thing that you hear about a lot. Everyone creates a sports analogy when you're in business all the time. So now you, coming from a sports background, do you really feel, and I feel like this is more of a genuine take, like, do you feel there are principles that work in both arenas in the same way?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a lot of similarities. I mean, it's not necessarily as, put it this way, when I hear a lot of people that come and talk and they say, hey, for this business, we're going to do this and we're going to make it like a sports team. It sounds really generic.
Right.
It's like, we're not going to have team meetings, and I'm not going to be, slapping you on the back, and we're not going to be, let's go. Yeah. It's not going to be that. It's going to be more like, hey, we have a team goal, right, that we're all trying to accomplish. So we have, we have whiteboards just like you guys got here. Yep. And they have our team goals for the week, for the month. And so we kind of define winning on what that is, So being a new market, which that means, I didn't start off with a book. So I'm just trying to grow my customer base. Sure. And we want to grow it the right way. So we want to be upfront. We want to be honest. We want to have a relationship up front. But a lot of that stuff is just, giving each team member on my teams. We've got 4 team members. We got 2 full-time and 2 part-time right now. Nice. They're all experienced. They all have lots of experience.
I'm sure that was your biggest thing with picking out your teammates.
Yeah, they're experienced. Just for me, not knowing, obviously I know a lot more now, but not knowing the ins and outs, the day-to-day, the processes, like, hey, what's a good – in baseball, you walk in, hey, this is the time the bus is. Oh, yeah. This is what time we stretch. This is what time you lift. This is what time you have a snack. Right. I mean, it's all scripted. Yeah. And now, for me, trying to figure out that for the insurance industry, that was one of the challenges.
Because I was new to it. Thing. Yeah.
So I think we're on the same page now, where we're doing the things that need to be done on a daily basis. We're having enough conversations. We're doing things to market and kind of brand our agency and stuff, and we're starting to get some results now, but it's going to be a daily, grind.
So when did you open your doors?
We opened up June 1st. Well, that was
June
my
1st.
technical date to
Right.
open was June 1st. We didn't actually get in there until July 2nd or 3rd.
Sure.
Remodeling, like you were saying
Yeah,
earlier.
built it from scratch.
Fun electrical problems.
Yeah, just a little office suite, it's a concrete floor and it's okay. What do you want this to look like? And so I went a little bit different. It's not, cubicles, and it's not a call center feel. That would have driven me crazy. But it's an open, it's more modern, it's clean, the desks. So I want people to be able to talk to each other. I want enough privacy, obviously, if there's customers that come in. We don't want, eavesdropping and that kind of stuff. But I do want enough freedom to be able to talk to people and have them listen and learn from each other. So it's been a really good experience so far. Obviously looking to grow, and hopefully if this thing goes the right way, then eventually we'll move an office space into a bigger spot or, take over the one next door. But
is there anything that you know right now that you wish you would have known right at the beginning that really stands out?
Nothing that's really jumped out. It's not easy by any means. The hardest part for me was setting goals in the beginning.
Sure.
Because coming into it, I don't know what's realistic and what's too easy. So trying to find that happy medium where, hey, I want these goals to be challenging. And I always, talk to my team a lot and I say, hey, I know these goals are challenging. It's not going to be something we're going to roll out of bed and achieve, right? Like we're going to have to work. We're going to have to get there. But the goals are challenging. In case we fall just a bit short, we're still doing good.
Yeah.
I don't want to set them so low that, hey, great job, you did it again. And then now you're saying, well, I think we can do better. I'd rather just challenge them.
Yeah.
This is what I want you guys to do. And I'm a part of it too. So it's a responsibility of all of us. And if we do achieve this goal, now there's going to be a big reward. So you kind of dangle the carrot, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But looking to us, we're just trying to, do a little bit better this month than we did last month. And then this week we want to do better than we did last week, that kind of thing. So it's a growth mindset, but it's fun. It's the people that are in there, the great personalities. They all have something to offer. They all got great stories, great backgrounds. So it's been great.
Sure.
That's what strikes me, like, when you think insurance agent, and there's stereotypical things with real estate agents and everything else, right? Like you don't come across as like a salesy insurance agent. And that's like what people think, in the back of their mind. It's like, what do you do? Oh, I'm an insurance agent. And they're like, oh no, you're
going to be calling me all the time.
I know, right? But like,
I know who's going to be hounding me for business.
Right. And we get the same thing as, if you ever mention like, oh, I'm in real estate or I'm a real estate agent or something, then you're like, it's another like, oh no, I'm going to be hearing about, do you need to buy? Do you need to sell? All this stuff. And I just feel like at least what I get from your energy is like you just want to create that conversation. You want to be a part of the community. You want to just, see what people are needing and wanting and see if it can fit. And if it doesn't, it's okay,
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, we do a lot of community events. We've been to a number of different places. We've hosted our own events. We've had an office Christmas party where it's an open house and we're inviting our customers to come in. It's not to sell them. It's just to have a relationship. I mean, I think a lot of times nowadays, especially with technology, and it's great. We have a mobile app and we have, online capabilities, but I think a lot of people, hey, I just want this done and I want it done in 2 minutes and I don't care. Whereas our idea is a little bit outside the box, right? We're trying to do things a little bit differently. We want to have a conversation. We want to get to know our customers. We want them to, and I use the line all the time, hey, you know exactly where my office is. If something happens and you got a question, you can walk in and ask us. If you're mad, you can come in and scream at me. You know where I'm at. That's part of it is I'm available. I'm here. My whole team, they're all fully licensed. They're more than capable too. So it's real clear off the get-go that, hey, if you need us, call us. Walk in, show up, come by and have a cup of coffee.
Right.
Just check in. We love it. There's some people in Sun City that come by and they're like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what do you need? And he goes, nothing.
Just
say
hi.
No,
we love it.
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about insurance agents is that they're not available. And that they have to go through a machine to get to you.
Yeah.
So it's nice that you have those open doors and you're welcoming people in to just come in and have conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll even go back and we'll call just to check in, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months. We're regularly calling. We're trying to set appointments at least once a year just to bring in and, hey, let's just review your policies. Let's talk about what's going on in your life. Did you get married? Did you have a kid? Did your kids go to school? Are they getting ready to go to college? Are they getting ready to? There's so many different life events that can, trigger, a different need for insurance purposes. But if we don't know that, then it's hard for us to, help as much as we can. So a lot of it is just asking the right questions and then paying attention to detail and listening, and just, I think people appreciate, the one-on-one attention. the fact that they know that, if there is questions, and we've had a number of people that, hey, what are your current, limits on your auto policy? And they're like, I don't know.
Right.
And we're like, what do you mean you don't know? I mean, there's a whole range of what you can choose from.
Right. Yeah.
But they've never had, someone, sit down with them and kind of review and explain what those numbers mean.
And people, honestly, I mean, I would guess people don't really think about it.
No.
They don't talk about the specifics of their policy. They're like, am I covered? Yes, I'm covered. If I get pulled over, can I show an insurance card?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Outside of that, for a typical person, I mean, how much coverage do I have? How little? All those things, those aren't. And like as soon as someone starts thinking of that, I mean, it can be daunting. I don't want to deal with it or whatever. So having someone to explain it in a way that like makes sense to them in their own life, like in their own context, that's really important.
Yeah, and we just run through situations,
Right.
I mean, obviously there is a state minimum amount that you're required to carry, and then there is, big time limits. You can have, real strong limits, and it's, there's a number of factors that work into it. I mean, obviously it's your personal preference and your coverage, the value of the car, all these type of things.
Yeah.
But the big thing that we're trying to do, I mean, especially me as the agent, is I'm just trying to protect our clients from financial devastation. So that means, hey, you're going to be driving around with the state minimums, right now, pretty less, $15,000, $30,000 for bodily injury, and then $10,000 for property damage.
That's
that's the state minimum
like state
right
minimum
now.
requirement.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah,
and that's bumping up in July with that new bill that passed, 1087. So it's going to go to 2550. But still, if you're driving down the freeway and let's say you get distracted for 1 second and you smash into a $70,000 Tesla.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your insurance is only going to cover $10,000. So that other 60, I mean, you're still liable for it.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean, we don't want their wages getting garnished and, all because they just didn't know what they had. So we'll have the conversation like, hey, we really recommend higher limits just to protect you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll hit a beater and it'll be, a couple $1,000 and you'll be fine. But chances are now with the cars and the technology on these things now, it's going to be a little bit more than that. So we'll just have the conversation. And if they choose to do what they want to do, that's fine. We're okay with it. We got your back, and we're still going to treat you the same way as we treat everybody else. But we want you to be aware that, hey, this might be a concern down the road.
Right. So like, what got you into this profession coming out of sports outside of that call? Like, there had to have been something that kind of your curiosity like went off, and you're like, I want to see this through.
Yeah, well, I got my degree from University of Southern California in economics. So I've always been good with numbers. That's always been the thing. I was always good in math.
That helps a lot as like a baseball manager, especially being good with numbers.
What's your batting average against lefties?
Yeah, like that's very important that people don't realize.
I'm thinking Moneyball.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, numbers have been kind of part of what I was always decent at. I wouldn't say good at, say decent at, but
comfortable with.
Not a genius.
You can say good. It's fine. No one's
fine.
No one
You're the only one on the podcast right now. You can say it.
But I was just being.
Wait, are we in a wealth management office right now?
Yeah, we are really. Okay. Yeah, I'm on an interview right now. No.
Yeah.
But that was kind of one of the things. But I like the fact I wanted something where I could, had the freedom to go catch my kid's game if I needed to, and I could pop out early. And, so I love the fact that, it's a small business setup and I'm the small business owner.
Yeah.
That was a big draw to me as opposed to, starting over where I'm at in my life as, as opposed to like a 22-year-old that's got limited responsibilities besides, just making money.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, somewhere gone from 6 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night. I wanted to be able to have some time with the family and stuff. And
so family's super important.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, I mean, I was lucky enough. My parents were at my games, and there was support there, and I always felt like it was good. It was you had someone to play for every single day. You know, some of these kids that they didn't have anybody show up, and if they made 5 errors, it wasn't like, hey, what are you doing? It was more like, how was the game? It was good. Boom, that was it. They weren't really involved with their. I think there's a lot of lessons that can go in games. Obviously, it's a baseball game. Well, yeah, there's a lot that goes in there. Maybe you struck out with the bases loaded and the crowd was on their feet and you let everybody down and you feel terrible. And if you don't have anyone there to kind of, slap you on the back and be like, hey, you're all right, get it next time. I mean, that could fester and it could, eventually make you not even want to play sports. Because you don't know how to deal with it. So I think just for me, I was lucky to have my parents there, and they weren't always like, hey, great game. It was almost like, are you okay? Can I talk to you now?
Yeah.
I just saw you had the worst game I've ever seen.
So they're involved in how you did.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and obviously, being younger and staying at home, they were always at the games. And then when I went to school, they were, they'd miss some here and there, but they would still drive to LA from the Bay Area on the weekend and check out a couple games. And stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing that I always appreciated. So I kind of want to be able to be there for my kids too.
How old are your kids?
7 and 9 are the two boys, and then my daughter's 21. She's doing nursing over at ASU.
Oh, nice.
So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's dominating. She's getting great grades.
That's awesome.
Getting ready to get going on with that career.
Nursing's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really competitive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
very underappreciated profession too.
Yeah,
I know, very much. Yeah.
And she always got great grades in high school, you know, and all through. But seems like you get to college and it's, you know, that competition factor kicks in. Like, hey, if you don't have, you know, X GPA, you're out of the school. And now she's kind of kicked into another gear. Now her grades are better in college than they were in high school. And they were good. They were really good in high school.
Yeah.
You know, so it just shows you know, people feed off competition and they're trying to, you know, succeed, and stuff like that happens. Then you put your priorities in line and you say, okay, maybe I'll stay in and get this done as opposed to messing around for a couple hours or something, you know. So been impressed.
That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. And the kids, what do they play?
Oh, they play everything.
Everything?
So that's a good way to do it.
They got to have a favorite though, right? No? Not yet?
I think it depends on what's in season.
Oh, really?
You know?
Okay.
So I coach them in baseball.
Okay.
And so
what?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I didn't try to. I didn't start off doing it, and then eventually, you know, I think my wife got tired of me hearing stuff in the stands. She's like, "Go coach."
Yeah.
So now we're back to, you know, the lower levels coaching, but it's fun, you know, teaching them just the fundamentals, man. It's just making sure they're having fun. I mean, we're doing water balloon tosses at practice and you know, random stuff, games that they like, so they, you know, they're drawn to it.
Did you implement those practices in the pros?
There was a couple times I wanted to, you know, but we did stuff in the pro ball. But you know, pro ball is more obviously a job, but you still got to keep it loose. You still got to keep it fun. You got to keep it where they want to show up to the clubhouse. I've been on teams before where it's like, you know, it's 140 games in the minor leagues in 150 days. There's only 10 days off. So you're going to the yard every single day.
I mean, that's the crazy thing you don't think about, because when you're playing sports growing up and just having fun with friends, I mean, there is a competitive element that gets you like in it, but you don't think of it in any way as your job.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like, and then going into like a pro setting and whatnot, like what dominates your mindset more? Like, this is my job, I got to keep it going? Or is it like, or do you try to stay like focused in the competitive nature and,
like that,
and the team
like that loose, fun, competitive nature?
I mean, I think it's different for each individual player, especially in pro ball now that it's a worldwide sport. So as a coach, I mean, we had kids from all over the United States, and then we had Venezuela, we had Dominican, we had Puerto Rico. I mean, we had Brazil. I mean, it's
all types of talent.
Ridiculous talents, and each, you know, motivating factor for those kids, it's different. I mean, some of those kids, I mean, they're leaving the Dominican or they're leaving and they're coming to the United States all by themselves.
That in itself is like
and then they're taking their paycheck and they're sending 90% of it home, and they're, you know, sharing rooms with their buddies, but they might have a little different motivation than the guy that, I was good in college and I'm just going to do this for a year or two just to say I played pro ball.
Right.
There's also some of those, and then there's some kids that are just baseball players. I mean, you hear the term like baseball rat the whole time. They love the game. They love the competition. They love their teammates, and those are the ones that, you know, the names that jump to mind, you know, just from coaching in the past, it's Salvador Perez, it's Eric Hosmer, it's Mike Moustakas, it's Greg Holland and Danny Duffy. I mean, those kids right there, and there's a number of them. Gerard Dyson's the one that's still playing. I mean, there's a lot of them. But those are the ones when you look back, I mean, you don't know. I mean, you knew they were good players, but you're not, when they're in single A and they're 18, you're not, hey, this is that Gold Glover 10 year. You mean, you see the things, and then now you watch them develop, and you say, hey, I saw those same qualities back in single A when there was 15 people in the stands as opposed to 50,000 in the World Series, you know. So
just another step back, what got you into the coaching gig in the first place? Because obviously you played for the Royals in their minors, but what switched into the coaching aspect?
When you can't play anymore, they ask you to coach. No, I'm just kidding. But
it's not just that, but it's noticing the talent that you're there and able to coach. So what do you think helped you jump into that field in the first place?
Just being able to spot that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, coming straight off a plane, I had a big surgery on my right shoulder. Kind of blew out everything, you know, shoulder, labrum, you know, that kind of stuff. So that was no fun. So I had to actually move to Arizona. They wanted me to stay in a hotel for like 9 months to basically learn how to throw a ball again.
Like
so I think I was
there.
And
everything else?
Yeah, everything. Rehab. Did the surgery in LA, and then, hey, we want you down in Arizona. You're going to work with our people, you know, all year round. So kind of sitting in a hotel for about 2 weeks, I was like, I can't do this for 9 months. I'm gonna go crazy. So me and my brother actually, started looking at houses just out of the blue, just to see, because coming from the Bay Area,
it's different.
It's a lot different. And we were kind of shocked. I'm like, wait a minute, we can buy a house. For we were shocked with the whole price of a first-time home buyer type deal. So we actually moved out here. It was great. Ended up renting out the house during the seasons and stuff like that. So we kind of got into Arizona that way. But as far as coaching, it was, hey, you're getting up there. It was about 28, I think 29 at the time. Mm-hmm. It's a young game, man. If you're not healthy, it's competitive, and there's people ready to take your spot. You miss a time, you miss a year, you miss time. It's tough to get back to right where you were. And so it's one of those things. At the end of the day, they say, hey, we know you got a lot of stuff to offer these young kids. Would you mind working with these kids in the morning, kind of like a coach, and then after they're done, now you start getting your rehab, hitting. And there was like 3 or 4 of us that were doing it. Older guys that we were helping out the young kids in the morning, and it's funny because the coach that's been coaching for 70 years, he could tell one player the same exact thing that we tell them, but since we're like 5 years older than them, they're going to listen and do it right away.
It's crazy how that works.
It was a big impact. And, to be honest, I didn't really have any desire to coach. I wanted to play. That was the top of my line. I wanted to be in there. I wanted to be playing. I wanted to be a part of it. But my first year, when you start coaching these kids and kind of basically giving them lessons here and there, just little things, nothing crazy. Our scouts did a great job of just identifying the players and signing them. And so as a coach, all you're trying to do is just help that player reach their ceiling. So you're trying to figure out, like, where do you guys see this guy if he's in the big leagues? Oh, we see him as an everyday center fielder. Oh, we see him as a DH. We see him, whatever it is. We're just trying to maximize, the skill set that player had that our scouts saw. But I loved it, man. The players would go out that you've worked with, and all of a sudden they have success in a game. And then I would get happy, like, man, that's awesome, So you're happy for him. Then I was like, man, I like having an impact on people. I like helping them out. And so kind of, roundabout way in insurance, you're doing the same thing. I mean, it's not, I'm not doing it because, hey, I sold you an auto policy. But hey, we had a conversation. And stuff comes up, man, that you never think about, things, goals, and dreams about the future, and like worries, like, hey, what are you worried about,
and with like handpicking your staff too that you work with, so they're like a family to you that you're constantly coaching and teaching, and you get to see them be successful, and you get to be a part of that and really watch them grow as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. I'm really big on that. Building something and having an impact and doing what you can do, to make a difference.
And I mean, you're in insurance, but like just the vibe you give me is like insurance, real estate, wealth management. They all have a common thread, and that's like almost like an advisor role, or like a mentor type role. And I think that's what gravitates you towards one of these things. I feel like you would be successful in any of them because it's just that I'm here as an advisor. What do you need? Like, we'll get it done. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, how do we get you there?
Yeah, it's that coaching, teaching role that sits really well in these types of businesses and aspects in life.
And in real estate for us, I'm sure you get the same thing. Yeah, we're realtors and brokers, but we get so much more information about a person's life than just, I want to buy this house.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure you do with policies, right? I mean, it starts out like, hey, I need this policy or whatever, but you learn so much about what's going on in a person's life.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of different aspects to it, and the only way to, kind of make sure you're, covering all the bases is to have a conversation and to figure out, hey, what's important to you, and what are your dreams for the future, and if there's any way we can help, we will. We'll do everything we can. And then there's also times where we say, hey, at this time, we'd love to have you, but maybe it's not the right time. But I think people appreciate that too, because you're upfront and you're honest. You're not just all of a sudden, I'm not going to return this guy's calls, and then, you're taking the time, and sometimes you got to have tough conversations. I mean, the same thing in baseball, unfortunately, it's a business at the end of the day. And there are times where they call and I get a message, hey, when this game's over, you got to tell XYZ that he's getting his release. He's no longer a professional baseball player. And those are tough conversations. But I think to a day, every single guy that I've had to do that to, they appreciate it. Hey, thanks for everything. Thanks for being upfront. Thanks for being honest. Sorry it didn't work out. Sorry I couldn't hit better. Sorry I couldn't pitch better. So I think that's a big thing is honest and integrity. I think that's big in any industry you're doing. It's just being upfront. There's no surprises. This is what we got. we love to work with you. If it doesn't make sense, we understand. But, if you decide to join us, we're going to take care of you just like we do everybody else.
I mean, I think we talk about that same principle with some of the agents we talk to to potentially bringing on the team. Like, one thing important in our brand is to be very upfront about what we value, and if someone doesn't want to do business with us, that doesn't mean they're bad or we're bad. It just means we're not for them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. As simple as that, and when you have that mindset, I feel like it gives you more confidence to know what you know and present yourself in the most authentic way. Yeah. And you don't have to play a role.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think that's really important.
Hey, you don't walk into a Chinese restaurant and try to order a taco.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, that's one of the analogies we talk about is like, you walk into a Chinese restaurant and you get your food and you're like, where are the tacos? If the manager comes out, he's not going to say, oh, I'm sorry, let me try to figure something out. You say, I'm sorry, this isn't for you. Yeah. The taco shop is 2 blocks down. Yep. Here's their address. Anything I can help you to get you there. Yeah. Right? Like, in that same principle, I think it serves us really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of parallels, like you guys were saying earlier, between business and sports.
Yeah.
I think the successful businesses, they've got, they got a vision, they got a goal. It's clear. Everybody knows what that goal is.
Right.
They have a plan on how to reach it.
Right.
Everything's not going to always go to plan. So you got to be flexible. You got to listen to your team. You got to be able to recognize strengths and weaknesses, or areas of improvement for each and every person. So you can put those people in roles where they can succeed, but also challenge them and make them, expand their comfort zone. Yeah. So I've always had, I've been around a lot of great coaches, a lot of great mentors, a lot of great, whatever you want to call them.
Right. Who's one of your mentors? who's like the top? What's a top name that comes up?
I always go back to Mike Gillespie at the top of my list, the coach I had at USC.
All right.
Because it was a guy, and
shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike if you hear me skip.
Yeah.
But he used to. I transferred into USC from Santa Barbara.
Okay.
So USC had just won the national championship in 1998.
Okay. So you're 1 year late.
That whole team, 1 year late. that figures, right? But that whole team had basically graduated or got drafted, and there were some openings there. And things weren't going as planned at Santa Barbara. Great school, still got a lot of great friends back there. Got to learn from great people there too. But SC was, SC. It's sports. It's a lockdown conditioning program. I mean, top notch. Football games. I loved it. You got to go to those. It was more of a sports atmosphere as opposed to. I love the beach too, but it was real laid back, at Santa Barbara for me. And so just talking about how to try to get to the next level. And when you're playing sports, that's all you're trying to do.
You got to be around it.
Yeah, you got to be around it. Yeah. You got to be thinking it. You got to be around other people that's what their goals are. So not everybody at Santa Barbara wanted to go play in the big leagues, or wanted to play pro ball. They were happy with, which was totally fine. They were happy going to school, getting their education, and playing some baseball. There were a few that, got after it and that were pretty good, but, not necessarily the case all the time. But at SC, it was great. And Gillespie was, he was good. He rode me hard. He was, all over me. I want to see if I can reverse that transfer, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it was tough. He was hard on you. But after 2 years, as soon as I left, I was like, that was the best coach I ever had.
When you look back at it.
When you look back at it, and maybe you're, he wasn't at the top of your list while you're playing for him. You're like, this guy's all on me, and oh my God, do I have to get 10 hits and 2 at-bats to have a good day? But it was one of those things where when he's on you, he's because he's pushing you because you can be better.
Yeah, he knew the right way to push you.
Exactly.
As a person.
We still have a great relationship to this day. We'll still call and check in and, shoot the breeze, that kind of stuff. But he was one of the guys that when you leave, you're like, man, that guy had a big impact on me. That guy pushed me and kind of toughen me up and all that kind of stuff. So the more people you can come in contact with that is the better, man. It's good. It might not always be fun and enjoyable, but you're going to recognize what's going on.
Yeah, it makes you really focus on how you can adapt to different situations as well.
And that's a talent in itself to know what buttons to push on different people. It's not like the same thing with every person. Like recognizing, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z with this person, and this is how I'm going to be with you, and this person needs push in a different way. And having that awareness to do that, that's what a great coach and mentor does.
It's like a chameleon personality almost.
Yeah,
where you're constantly changing yourself for each individual.
Everybody's different, you know. And they
I mean, someone else will describe Mike in a totally different way.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, he's the most loving, caring guy I've ever met.
He's like, he never raises his voice, never.
Yeah.
Have you seen how many puppies he has?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame. He's a college baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know, he's well renowned in not only, you know, college baseball, but just pro ball. Everybody knows him. And he's kind of, you know, the upper echelon when you talk about college coaches.
That's awesome.
You know,
So let's talk about something that's been clearly on Monty's mind this whole time.
What do you got?
That ring on your finger.
Oh yeah.
We're
gonna have to take a picture of that or something.
Now I've seen this and tried it on before, but Justin's got his Kansas City Royals 2015 World Series ring here with us.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it was awesome. It's
so tell us a little bit about it.
Well, obviously, a lot of those players, I mean, that's we were lucky enough as, you know, minor league coaches and scouts and trainers and all that kind of stuff to all be a part of the organization achieving its ultimate goal of a world championship. And so I feel like we all had a small part of that, you know, and we have, you know, relationships with those players that were on that team. So it's special, obviously, anytime you can win a championship. But I think there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of different stories. There's a lot of, good times and bad times and struggles that go in there.
Everything packed in all those diamonds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'm not going to lie, Justin. I'm a Twins fan, to be honest with you. So,
same division and everything.
Yeah, so it was a little rough watching him win, but at the same time, you're kind of happy someone in the division won, and that it wasn't the White Sox or the Indians.
I know. Well, you know, I mean, none of those games were easy. I mean, they were all like, you know, one pitch here, one hit there. You know, they were like, you get to that level of baseball, man. It's every little thing counts.
Yeah, and they went on that run that was just unbelievable. Nobody thought they were going to win that year.
Yeah, they got hot at the right time, and you ended up going all the way through. And it was special to see it, and special to see all those kids and stuff. And I say kids, but you know, they're major league players. But I still remember them when I had them when they were 18, 19 years old. You know, so it was fun to see that. You know, it's fun to talk about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. One thing that was in the back of my mind before I forget, you know how you were talking about being that coach and recognizing what people need to get to their next level, what that means. How would you translate that into your business now? Like, if you're going to hire someone new, you know, what kind of attributes or like, what do you look for in a person as you're talking to them and you're like, man, he would be good on my team?
Yeah, I think number one, it's the ability to communicate and have, meaningful conversations. You know, and I've interviewed, you know, a number of people now, and it just comes with the territory. And it's, you know, some people that they walk in and you're like, you know, right from the bat, like, hey, this person would be a great fit. I mean, it's personal. I don't know if there's one thing that you could say you're looking for, but it's a package. It's obviously you got to be hardworking. You gotta attention to detail. You got to have integrity. You got to be honest, especially in this industry. It's so highly regulated, you know, and that's something that we won't tolerate. We want everybody. There is no shenanigans going on. It's, you know, it's straight up as much as we can be. We're honest about the process, you know, as much as we can. But I think with people coming in, we want them, you know, to have good goals, have their priorities, be able to articulate, hey, what's important to you? It's not just, a job. Oh, well, I get that. You know, everybody needs a job, but what we're trying to create here, it's more than just a job. I mean, I want you guys excited to walk in the office, ready to work, know what you're going to do, and then, you know, be able to deal with the failures, be able to deal with, you know, when you make a phone call to follow up on a lead and it's like, hang up or whatever. It's like, it was funny that the first time I actually got hung up on, I had an email typed out like, hey, just want to let you know you're the first person that ever hung up on me. Not trying to be, you know.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Smart, but just letting you know you're the first. Thank you. Boom.
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later, he calls back, hey, did you mean that? I'm like, yeah. He goes, let's do the auto.
Yeah. Well, but that's one of those things, like, you know, in this industry, you know, I don't think I've done a cold call in a long time. No. But I remember doing cold calls for lots of different types of jobs. And there's this, like, thing in you, you fear this, like, I don't know what's going to happen, you know? Like, are they just going to, what could they say, you know? But, like, the more you get into just that, and it's a mindset you have to get into where you just try to stay involved in the conversation. Yeah. And I mean, no becomes your friend in a way. And it's not like you can't interpret it as rejection. It's just you're seeking to help. Yeah. And you don't know where that person is in their life when they're receiving your call. Yeah. You know, and it has nothing to do with you. Exactly. You know, so I mean, I don't know. I always felt like the best way to approach that is to like come to it with some empathy. more than anything else, because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah,
you know, like half of, like 99% of their anger on the phone with you or whatever it is had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And just kind of having that mindset really helps.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I think the funniest thing about that really is, what's the worst thing they're going to say is no.
Yeah.
And you're right where you left off at, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
I think you just refine your processes. You refine, you know, how you talk to people.
Right.
And maybe, you know, hey, is this a good time for you? You ask them a question. Is there a better time for me to follow up? I think they appreciate that because you're respectful of their time, and you do know, I mean, a lot of people are at work, you know, so when they're at work, the last thing they're going to do is, hey, let's do our insurance. I mean, so a lot of our stuff, it happens, you know, right after business hours, right before business hours, maybe Saturdays.
Yeah, it's tough.
Or I drive to Mesa, or I'm driving to Scottsdale. I'm not just staying in Peoria, you know, so we are flexible. We will come to them to, you know, have meetings and appointments and stuff like that. But I think big time is just making sure that, you know, we are selling, but we're not trying to be pushy. And that's the big thing I try to tell my team is, hey, man, you're talking to someone, you know, maybe they want to do their auto with us right now. Great. We're not going to try to sell them the kitchen sink right off the bat.
Yeah.
You got to take some time. You got to build that relationship. You got to show them, like, why they want to come with us as opposed to the company that's $2 cheaper a month. Like,
have some fun with the rejection.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like your email. I mean,
exactly.
Did you win that business at some point? Yeah. See, I mean, you deploy. To me, that's deploying empathy. Yeah. That hey, you know, you hung up on me. That's fine. And I'm in this business in the long run. I'm not quitting my job because of you. And I appreciate you know, whatever time you gave me, and that goes a long way, because when people see that, they're like, okay, this guy's in it for the long haul.
And you just taking the time to just write that email because you were actually so excited that somebody hung up on you.
I made phone calls. I made text messages.
It's my first.
Just going to hung up
on. Finally, it took long enough.
Yeah, it happened so fast. You kind of sit there like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so then my next question is, the next person hangs up on you, you're going to say, hey, you're the second person to ever hang up on
I
you.
kind of lost track now.
Yeah. Okay, so they're starting to ring up a little bit.
But I mean, I've always been fascinated by rejection. You know, you hear about it a lot, like the Harry Potter books. You know, J.K. Rowling's was rejected 20 plus times before it hit the shelves and stuff, and all these different types. And when you think of no, to me, it's like if I told you you're 10 no's away from a huge deal. Like, how excited would you be for the next no, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, how can I get 2 no's today? Can I get more efficient with my no's and get 5 no's today so I can hit that? You know, so when you flip how you perceive it, it just changes everything. And then it changes how you present yourself.
Yep,
you know?
absolutely. I mean, it's a humbling thing, just to, you know, like baseball. I mean, if you're successful 3 out of 10 times, you're hitting 300 and you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know, so some of those parallels, I get it, you know. So, but you have to be able to, you know, keep it lighthearted and not get so wrapped up, because maybe you catch somebody at the wrong time. Maybe they're, you know, running late, and you know they're going to be real short with you. They don't hate you. You just caught them at a bad time, and so we gotta. You know, we figure out a way. We use different mediums. We're not always call. When we call a lot, right? Because we want to talk to people.
Right.
But sometimes we're texting people and it's, hey, when's a good time? And, you know, maybe there's little things here. They got little questions. They'll text us. And we'll text them right back. And
texting is new though. Like that's a new approach, but I feel like my gut says it's more effective in a way. Like you kind of subtly, you know, start a conversation, or even say like, hey, I just wanted 5 minutes of your time. Just let me know when.
Set an appointment,
you know, and they're more willing to be like, yeah, give me a few days, you know, and it's much more like less confrontational.
Yeah.
You know?
And not only that, but it sits there on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a reminder that, I need to call and take care of my
insurance. We get it. There's
stuff.
a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of moving parts, but I mean, we don't want to call the same person 10 times. And have to get to the point where it's like, oh my God, these people keep calling. It's like, no, just if you're not interested, tell us up front so we do not bother. We don't want to bother people, you know. Right. But I mean, at the same time, I think from our standpoint is we do have their name on a list that they are interested in. They do want this, and we don't want those people, if they are interested, we don't want them being thrown to the back burner and nobody following up with them. So it's it's finding that happy medium, you know,
Sure.
and we'll ask them up front, hey, do you prefer call? Do you prefer email? Do you prefer text? Would you prefer to meet me at Starbucks? You want to meet me at, you know, or I'll drive to your house and you can come to the office. I mean, there's a number of different ways that we can, you know, touch base and contact. But I think the big thing is just being respectful, man. And just, I mean, I wouldn't want someone calling me 15 times in one day.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll reach out.
Like 12's my limit, you know?
Now I do.
Yeah.
Not my personal cell phone.
Yeah. What number is that again?
Exactly. So it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. You know, I got a great team around me. Got a great support network. Just looking to grow. So it's been challenging. It's been a blast though for these first 6-7 months.
Awesome.
All right. So that was a great interview.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, the one thing that struck me about Justin is he's just so down to earth, and he's just very focused on delivering and serving his clients in the business he's in now.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway just from talking with him was his ability to relay, you know, that sports mentality and that teamwork and wanting to see everyone grow and succeed together.
Right.
Into his current business.
Yeah, like translating that from the team environment in baseball to business, but in a way that actually works.
And like team insurance-wise, which is, when you really think about it, for like an insurance agent, you don't really think about them as being part of your team, or like your support system, like that. But really, when it comes down to it, that's what they are. Like you're paying, you're paying for your insurance services, and those agents are your team. They're there to back you up and help you get what you need. So it seems like he's very down to earth in regards to that, and knows that he can't win everyone's business, and that's not what he's out for. He wants to be able to be a service for the community and the people. You know, if it's a good fit, he doesn't want to force anything, which is really great, especially for the insurance industry.
Yeah, and there was at one point where he mentioned how, you know, he kind of created, I'm interested to see his office, like his office layout's a little different than the traditional approach just for his, you know, team members and whatnot. So it's more of a collaborative environment and stuff. So I really liked how he takes that into account, and just he's trying to take things that have worked, things that he knows work in his past experience, and bring it into this new endeavor, not only for his clients, but also people he's working with.
Yeah, it's pretty great to hear that type of enthusiasm for somebody that, you know, came from a completely different world, different industry for the last however many years Justin was in baseball.
Right.
And translating that to the insurance world, because when you think of insurance, you typically think of that person that's just constantly cold calling, and hounding, and just trying to get business.
The stereotypical, what you think of.
But he seems more into helping people and being there for them, and knowing that if somebody says no, that time to move on.
Right. Yeah. Not to waste your time either. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that was great. You know, well, just a shout out to Justin. Thank you so much for sitting with us and just kind of talking about your new thing. And we look forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah, Justin Gemoll, State Farm.
All right.
Pretty great.
Awesome. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening.
We hope you found this episode valuable and engaging.
Through listening to this episode, if you had any question or comment you wanted to share with us, even one for our guest, here's what you can do.
You can either go to our website by following the link in the show notes to record your question or comment directly, or email us a recorded voice note with your comment or question, and you could be featured in an upcoming episode.
And if your question is for our guest, we will do our very best to have it answered by them personally.
If you'd like to connect to our guest directly, their information will also be in the show notes.
So thanks again for tuning in with your support.
Until next time, I'm your host, Chad.
And I'm your host, Ramneek.